Hey Fusion family, as much as I know you crave a good oxtail, how to make the perfect oxtail with Caribbean fusion sauces and spices. So guys, we have our oxtail here. It's already washed, drained, and trimmed. And you can wash your oxtail with some vinegar, with some lime, and drain it. And today we're going to be showcasing our ultimate gourmet oxtail blend. This blend has 20 herbs and spices. It is a foolproof finish for a really gourmet oxtail. And we're going to be layering this on our oxtail. We're going to sidekick it with our spicy right all-purpose season. And that blend just goes well with everything. We're going to start by coating both sides thoroughly with our oxtail blend. Don't hold back. Our blends are lower in sodium, have no MSG, no soy, no nuts. In fact, it's downright vegan. So if you want to make your vegan oxtail, go for it. So we're going to layer this oxtail with this gourmet blend. 20 herbs, and then I put an equivalent of about 2 tablespoons, and then I'm going to go in with about a teaspoon of our spice it right all-purpose season, and it's a nice sidekick to balance it. So you know this dish is already well herbed. Now I like to add my fresh herbs, and this is allspice. It's known also as pimento. So I'm adding a couple of grains, maybe about 10 grains or so of allspice. We are going to actually well season this with our fresh herbs. I'm adding a little bit of black pepper. You're going to season with your salt to taste. And I like adding fresh ginger. Fresh ginger, especially the really strong ones. So I'm adding the equivalent of a tablespoon of grated fresh ginger. And we have our thyme, fresh thyme that's already chopped. You can remove the stems if you like and just add the leaves. We have our green onions, or what they call scallions, and I have the equivalent of about 3 tablespoons chopped. We have our garlic, and I have about a tablespoon of garlic chopped or diced. I'm adding some red bell peppers. No, the bell peppers are optional, but you can put some yellow, green, or red. It's optional. But I'm adding some red bell peppers for extra flavor. We have our yellow onions, and I have the equivalent of about a half a cup of chopped yellow onions. Now, when it comes to browning, you have a couple of choices. There's a lot of brands out there. Just grab your favorite brand. And I'm adding the equivalent of, let's say, a tablespoon and a half. And depending on the brand that you're using, some are a little darker than some. If you opt not to use the browning, you can also add a little brown sugar to your hot oil. Burn it so it caramelizes and become a brownish color. And that will become your browning for giving your oxtail the color. Again, browning is pretty common. You can get it in many different stores, many different supermarkets. Just pick the one that you prefer. And so I'm using my hands, wearing the gloves, and we're going to massage it in nice and gentle. Now, if you have the time, you can overnight this or marinate it for a few hours. But with that 20 herb blend with the spice it right, you can get an instant gourmet. But again, if you have the time, go ahead and marinate that. And we're massaging it in. We're giving it a lot of love. Guys, you're just gonna so love this oxtail blend. Our oxtail blend does not have any MSG. Really well herbed to give you that gourmet experience that you're really expecting from Caribbean Fusion. It is smelling so good already. Now, over medium heat in a little olive oil in a skillet, we're going to pan sear these for 3 to 4 minutes on each side. And we're the purpose of that is not only to give it the brown color, but also to seal in the juices. Again, 3 to 4 minutes on each side. It is good. Now we're going to take the remaining seasoning that we had in our container, and we're going to add this back to our skillet. And then we're going to take some water, 4 cups of water, and we're going to add some water to our container. We're going to switch it around because we want to get all that sauces and the seasoning blend from the container that we used to season it. And we're going to add this back to our skillet. We're adding a total of about 4 cups of water, and we're going to cook this for about 40 to 45 minutes. You can also opt to put this in a pressure cooker to cut the time, but I am going to be cooking this on medium high for about 45 minutes before we get to the next step of making this perfect oxtail. So we've been cooking this for approximately 40 minutes. At this point in the process, I am going to add 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Just pick your favorite brand. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of ketchup. We're going to give this a nice little stir. Now, one of the things I love about making the perfect oxtail is adding your dumplings. We're calling these spinners because they're little and they're long. And I just needed some regular flour with some spelt flour. Pick a flour of your choice. You can make them in any type of size or shapes. And so we're going to go through and add our dumplings. And another great thing about making the perfect oxtail is adding your butter beans. Right? So right now we're in the process, we're adding our spinners, and we're just going to keep doing that until it's done. So we've been cooking this for about an hour. A lot of the liquids have evaporated from our pot. We're going to go ahead and actually add the butter beans, and you can add any type of butter beans that you like. Just pick your favorite brand. And as you can see, a lot of the liquids in our oxtail gravy has actually evaporated. So we're going to add a little bit more water, give it a nice little stir. It's a perfect time for you to add any type of like hot peppers that you want. You can add some. In this case, we're going to be adding or tamarind chutney simmering pepper sauce that has a really full flavor body. So this thing is going to be so loaded with flavor. I'm adding a little water so that because we're going to be cooking this for like another 20 minutes, and I'm going to add anywhere from a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of our tamarind chutney simmering pepper sauce. Now, this step in the final stages of cooking the perfect oxtail. At the end of your cooking process, the last 15 or so minutes, you want to re-season the pot with some fresh herbs. In this case, I'm using some fresh thyme and some fresh scallions. And you can actually take the scallion and give it a nice tap to help to release the juices. And what this step is going to do for you is that it's going to add this extra burst of flavor, because initially when we seasoned the oxtail, that was seasoned in the beginning. This is going to add another layer, a top layer of flavor in addition to what's already in there. And see guys, we've been cooking this like for 20 minutes or so, and so oxtail is looking so good. It's looking so good. And what I like to do is to add, and this is optional again, I like to add a little bit of breadcrumb, just plain breadcrumb, um, to my gravy. It helps to thicken the gravy, but it also helps to just bring all the flavors together. And again, this step is optional. You can just cook it until you're satisfied with the reduction process. I just love to put a little bit of breadcrumb in it, and we're all done. So we're gonna share this up. It is looking so good and it's smelling so good. So this is how you make the perfect oxtail fusion style. And there you have it, guys. Caribbean fusion oxtail. I hope you guys run out and get a bottle of the 20 herb blend. It is really foolproof. You're going to get a great finish with or without the fresh herbs. And that's the great thing about using the Caribbean fusion sauces and spices blend of seasonings. Guys, if you're liking the content, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a comment. And as always, it is a pleasure having you here. Bye.